One guy did say, "I'm shaking. D owns you" or something. Yeah, exactly. That's the one time where like a internet cringe lord behaved like he was an internet cringe lord, but in real life, and it was such an inconsequential experience. It was such an inconsequential experience overall, and it was like a major fucking own for that person. That you know, it basically, the problem took care of itself. And speaking of which, by the way, that very same person who has egged on his fans to like stalk me in real life, because the Destiny owns you guy was from this sex pest, who has now been outed as a pedophile as well from his community. Here's what he recently had to say, and then we're going to move on to the news.
If this is the norm for political commentary, you could very easily justify attacking or killing Hassan. 100%. If it's going to be that every single Zionist, every single Jew, everybody in Israel, even your content creator's wife or whatever in the West Bank, like if that's the norm, then you could basically kill every online content creator you want. Like if that's how we're going to run these norms down, it's fucking insane. I don't know, somebody find the quote of what I said. And I will keep saying things like that, and I'll constantly keep doing things like that. And I hope Hassan keeps.
He's so badass, dude. He's so badass. I like that. I like that. It's just, this is not what I said at all. Like, my point is, and I'm going to repeat it one more time. Okay. It doesn't matter who this person is. It doesn't matter if it's your favorite content creator. It doesn't matter if it's me. If I went in, joined the Israeli occupying force, okay, trained with the Israeli occupying force, went into the occupied West Bank territory on a night raid, and I got shot at, that's free game. Okay? Because the occupied people have a legal right to militarily resist against the occupational force. That's it. That is a matter of international law. Take it up with the UN. You can clearly people try to actively move the conversation away to something I didn't say, because that's a position that you can't really defend, right? That's not like, you can't just be like, I don't think that occupied people have a legal right to militarily resist, engage in armed struggle against an occupational force. This has nothing to do with like individual content creators. Like what I'm talking about is very clearly well defined within international law, and also reiterated over and over and over again. Okay. What he's trying to say is, oh, dude, you should go and kill Hassan. You know, that's it. It doesn't matter who it is. New name, child molestiny. Yeah.
Fucking crying about it. And I hope that fucking Ethan misquotes me because of some shit Hassan said. I don't give a fuck. If this is.
Ethan and Hila scold Destiny for helping Hassan reframe the conversation to victimize himself. Destiny has nothing to do with what Hassan did to me. He had a flawless victory, and his dumbass gave Hassan the ability to cry and be victim. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, this is not the first content creator that is like actively called upon their fans to kill me, and it probably won't be the last. As a matter of fact, this fucking dipshit was hanging out with famous pedophile neo-Nazi. Now we know why he was hanging out with him on his own stream. Also, at the time when that pedophile neo-Nazi Sam Hyde was also doing the haha Hassan Piker, I'm going to come to your house and kill you. So this is not the first time he's done shit like this. See Samstony. Anyway, Stockman pieced out on his podcast with Epstein. Yeah, that's bullshit. He's just trying to, I think the reason why his second in command, who utilizes his community because he has no motion outside of that, to engage in these like stalking operations, is only distancing himself because he is an advertiser of Ethan Klein's podcast, and he feels like it's going to look bad for Ethan if Ethan attacks me. And then I turn around and say, dude, you're getting money from this dude who is giving you all these talking points, and this community that is like actively defending someone trying to procure child sexual abuse material. Like, what the fuck? You have no leg to stand on. So I think Dan thinks if he just like cuts ties for a little bit after actively defending Destiny, hopefully that'll give Ethan some stronger legs to stand on, when in fact it doesn't, it doesn't work that way. I mean, this is his business partner. Dan Saltman is the person that is the connective tissue between these two people. And he is directly funding. He's one of the last remaining podcast funders, redact.dev, as you guys know. That's Dan Saltman's company. And he's giving he's giving the talking points to Ethan, and his community is actively in here. They're in here probably right now, losing their fucking minds, looking for something that they can misconstrue, as they do every single day. This clip was posted on the Destiny. Wait, what? They're defending D, losing my mind at the complete inversion of reality here. Then I remember that the H3 sub has been completely taken over by Destiny fans. They all think Destiny's a victim of a years-long harassment campaign by Hassan, when it's the other way around. Hassan ignored him for years. Yeah, so that's awesome. The only thing I will say here is that Destiny has been dealing with Hassan for far, far longer than Ethan. Ethan literally said that Hassan brought up Destiny the first time they met in person. He survived like 6 years of Hassan's constant campaigns against him. He used to not pay any attention to them, but that led him to getting the current reputation he has now, where Hassan will lie about him to others, painting the most horrible picture of him that still somewhat persists. There's a reason why people that get yanked from Hassan's cult literally only have to watch like one full video of his to realize he's been lying about him all this time. It's quite hard to overstate just how deep the Destiny Hassan feud goes. When you've seen how bad these communities are at their worst for like over half a decade, you lose any hope that the high ground will matter. What I really find funny about this is not only is it just the exact opposite of the reality, but my favorite is when they do like the liberal Zionist position between me and Destiny. The liberal Zionists like, well, both sides are kind of fucked. It's like, no, this is not a both sides situation, man. This has been an active cyber stalking operation with mass harassment initiatives. They always do this with like LSF too. Like LSF is literally run by a moderator in Destiny's community. And if you look at the top post in LSF, it's like Hassan sneezed wrong. And it's like 7,000 upvotes. And then all of the fucking comments underneath it is like, yo, he's the worst person that's ever existed. And then they have the audacity to turn around and be like, Hassan obviously brigades this Discord. It's like, it's weird because it doesn't seem to exist. The Hassan defense on LSF. It's just no motion overall, because you just push through it. And as long as you push through it, and as long as you abide by your values, and keep doing your own thing. A lot of these guys who are just like utterly repulsive, truly evil individuals, they just, they keep fucking themselves up anyway, in all of their anger, in all of their resentment, in all of their animosity. If you design your entire worldview around hating one fucking person, and you don't have any sort of like discernible values, you are inevitably going to find yourself locked in to, I guess, defending Israel's genocide. Yeah, one community constantly harasses, doxes, stalks your entire family. Anyone you show any positivity towards with botted email campaigns to deplatform, deport, and arrest you. And then this community says, wow, they fucking suck. Also, he's a pedophile. These are the same thing. DOJ dropped the Ghislaine Maxwell tapes. We're going to be taking a look at that as well, of course. It's a dead sub that gets propped up by Epstein guys because their larger subreddit is, the easier it is to get threads posted there to get to the front page of Reddit. Yeah, but I don't think that matters all that much in the grand scheme of things. Like, I think there's only the more the spotlight is on a person like Destiny, the more even people who know him as like, oh, the fast talking liberal debate guy who owns Republicans, realize that maybe he's not such a good guy, and they come to that conclusion on their own. They don't need someone to like lie about who he is or whatever and actively make content about how much of a piece of shit he is by framing things he's saying in the most negative ways possible for 6 years onward. Whereas for Destiny, he has had to do that. And because my position is not exactly popular among neck-bearded incels online who dominate every single fucking space, there is definitely a robust market for fuck Hassan style content amongst apolitical content creators and slop tubers alike. But even then, organically, those guys have realized maybe we shouldn't be aligned with this fucking weirdo loser who is so toxic that he has actively harmed people in his closest orbit. Reminder that Hassan's Freak Squad has threatened to murder Destiny several times. Never happened. Never said that. I can understand why he doesn't give a fuck. He's been targeted by them for years now and has zero faith in Twitch. That's just a lie. And it's not just a lie, but it's like straight up projection. And it's additionally funny because like I've always taken an approach of just gray rocking. That's what it's called, right? When you're dealing with narcissists. I've always taken this approach where I just like don't, for years and years, I did not talk about Destiny at all. And I just kept doing my own thing. And in the beginning, obviously, my community was much smaller than his. And then it grew. And then he never let that go. He never let that, he never lived that down. In the process, he clearly did not take care of his own son, who is now an out and about Nazi. He let his own son be in his Discord where, he turned into a Nazi. I feel terrible about that. And also has done a bunch of illegal things. And every single time he does something like that, his exit ramp has always been, and this is not dissimilar to like what XUC would do back in the day when, people would yell at him about gambling. He'd be like, well, what about Hassan? And then people would be like, oh yeah, you're right. Hassan is worse. Like that's what he does. But after the 11th time that you get like caught doing some fuck shit all on your own, eventually, your people in your fandom are obviously going to go, yeah, man, you're kind of fucked up. Isn't this just internet drama? I mean, seriously, why give these people the time of day now? I mean, this is crimes. It's not just internet drama.